June marks the beginning of summer for many, but it also marks the start of a month of celebration for the LGBTQ plus community and their allies. First Edition's Madeline Salinas joins us live with more on the history behind Pride Month and how people in the Coastal Bend can join in on the Pride Month fun. Madeline, good morning.
Good morning, Barbie. And you know, for those that don't know, Pride Month kind of goes all the way back to the 60s. So back in 1969, during the Stonewall uprising in New York City, you know, there was a big uprising of people, you know, really wanting to freely express themselves. And so a year later, after the uprising, they had what would kind of be marked as the first Pride event happening right there in Manhattan. And then it was kind of first called Gay Pride Day, but it wasn't until 1999 when Bill Clinton officially designated a whole month, calling it then Gay and Lesbian Pride Month, but we now better know it as just Pride Month to be more inclusive, right? So, Mr. Robert, you know, that's a very important history, and there's not a display that we can see now, but we can get a catch of it later. You guys have a very important, you know, mission here of preserving that history, correct?
It's true, yes. So we do have a display outside of the Pride Center that really details the history of that riot that you talked about, because there was a lot of stuff happening back in the 60s, so police raiding LGBT spaces, and so finally the community was like, okay, we would like to have our safe spaces and like be able, like you said, to express ourselves freely, be able to like who we like and be who we are. And so they finally rioted back and said, hey, we're going to be here. We're Americans too. Leave us alone. And so that spurred this movement of the gay liberation movement. And like you said, Bill Clinton announced that it's going to be Pride Month instead of just a Pride Day. And so since then, it's really evolved into this celebration of the entire LGBT community and just having us out and visible and just preserving that momentum from the very first one of just being like, we are here in the community, we are Americans too, and we deserve the right to be with who we want to be.
Exactly. You know, Pride Month has been going on for over 20 years now, and it's happening right here in the Coastal Bend. We talk about just a few of the events that you guys have coming up. What are a few that people should keep in mind?
There's so many. So this Friday we'll be at Art Walk. So we'll be on People Street if you want to stop by and say hello and grab some rainbow merchandise. We've got some free giveaways to like rainbow flags, some koozies, all fun things like that. There's going to be a pet parade at the St. Paul Church. They do that every year, and it's always very cute to see all the dogs around and their families, you know, all dressed in rainbow. Towards the end of the month, there's going to be a pub crawl, and that's going to be really awesome. It's going to be in downtown Corpus Christi. I know a couple of bars like Lazy Beach and Retro and Old Crest and the new Hi-Fi are all part of that. And so really cool to see businesses like that joining on Pride Month and making sure that they're part of the celebration. So, and we're wrapping it up with the very first thing the very first event called the Pride Ball. And so more information is coming on our website about that, but we're really excited to have just a really cool celebration to bring everyone together and have a good night together at the ball.
And you guys, that's just a few of the events. There's a whole calendar of events that you can learn more about when I come back. So if you're part of the community, if you're an ally, and if you just like to celebrate love and acceptance, this month is for you, and they have you covered with the events happening all month long. We're going to be back with more and a little bit more about what the center offers here when we come back. I'm going to toss it back to you guys.